Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Before a radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. Well, I think any television lover, especially if you're a foodie, you know who Chef Michelle Bernstein is. She's been able to do some extraordinary things in her career, including opening up several restaurants. She has a catering business. And, of course, we've seen her on Top Chef and even the Food Network shop. But one of the things she's been sharing with her audience, though, is something she's been dealing with personally. That is something that a lot of us can definitely relate to, and that is being diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis. She's here to talk to us about that today, about her condition, how she's able to manage it. And joining her, we have a rheumatologist, Dr. Sesin, joining us as well. Thanks to the two of you for the time today. Really appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks for having us, Cyrus.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
Look, the pleasure's definitely on mine, Chef. I am a big fan of yours for sure. So, Chef, if you don't mind, I'll start with you. I mean, you've been able to have such an extraordinary career. What has it been like for you to take your love of food and cooking and sharing and be able to see how people around the world have been impacted by it?
Oh my God! It's been wonderful. It actually gives me chills to know that people can taste and savor my food all over the world, really, and to be able to extend that hand through television, through restaurants, and with the Savor Life campaign, where you'll see lots of videos, lots of recipes of mine, and also get a lot of questions answered that you might have with psoriatic arthritis.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Chef. You have been able to live such a public life. Again, as I mentioned, all of us know you, of course, especially if we've, are fans of food shows. What was it like for you to decide to share your journey with being diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis?
I just think it's so important to raise awareness. So on behalf of Novartis, I've got my rheumatologist here with me, Dr. Sesin. I'd like to bring you everywhere, actually, Doctor. It's been pretty incredible because I had so much joint pain and stiffness. And, in my mind, you can imagine the things that go on in your mind when you're a chef and you need your whole body, right, to be able to just get through the day and to work. And so, I kept thinking that this was really going to affect my career. And honestly, as a mom to a very active 11-year-old boy, I mean, there are a lot of things that came up in my head. And so, through a lot of kind of investigation, going online, my sister's help, remembering I had psoriasis, which, by the way, I only had a very small amount of it, and not really remembering that I had it, she said to me, go find a rheumatologist, find a great doctor, which I did, and he's here with me today. And I just want people to know that, there's information out there, ask the right questions, but find a doctor, find someone that you can trust to finally get a diagnosis and eventually a treatment.
Such great information. Dr. Sesin, I'd love to bring you into the conversation. Let's talk about symptoms, because I think for people out there, they may wonder as they hear Chef Michelle talk about this, is this something that may be impacting me? Is this what I'm dealing with? What are some of the symptoms that individuals should be on the lookout for?
Absolutely, Cyrus. Psoriatic arthritis is a specific type of inflammatory arthritis that causes pain, stiffness, swelling of multiple joints, so shoulders, elbows, wrists, knees, ankles, many joints. It can often cause a lot of soreness and stiffness, especially in the mornings, sometimes stiffness lasting greater than an hour. And as a result, like happened with Michelle over here, it causes a lot of difficulty with daily activities. So it's really important to make a timely diagnosis. It's important to try to get to it as soon as possible, especially so because if you don't treat it properly over time, it can actually cause irreparable joint damage.
So, Dr. Sesin, with Chef Michelle's busy schedule, that she was just talking about, not just professionally, but also personally as well, how did you approach her treatment plan?
So as with Michelle, as with all my patients, we really need to consider all the aspects of psoriatic arthritis, and we have to put that together with all her other health-related concerns. And so that's what we did. We put our heads together in that exam room, and we talked, and we decided together that Cosentyx was the right medication for her. And it's also known as secukinumab. It's a prescription medication for active psoriatic arthritis, and it's indicated for individuals that are 2 years of age or older. We sat around, we talked about the potential benefits of the medicine, but we also talked about possible side effects, probably the most important of which are serious allergic reactions and infections. So we also talked about having to monitor for things like fevers and chills and sweats and cough. So these are some of the important side effects. There are some others, and your listeners can go to savorlifewithpsa.com to learn more about those.
SavorLifeWithPSA.com. We'll make sure that we link that up for our audience. Chef, before we let you go, I do want to ask you, because as you mentioned, people do come to you with questions, typically about food, but since you've been sharing your journey too with PSA, what do you normally share with them about not only, of course, being able to live with it, but also, of course, things they should do to advocate for themselves?
Well, that you just said it. That was a mouthful. So for listeners out there, advocate for yourself. I lived with it for a little too long before I, really came to the realization that I could speak to a doctor. Don't be so afraid of what goes on, in your mind. Don't come up with your own diagnosis. Go see someone you trust. Go find a great doctor. There's so much information out there, and luckily with SavorLifeWithPSA.com, you can get a lot of those questions answered. Aside from obviously the great recipes and the videos that I'm on, you might actually find questions that you can ask a doctor, because I didn't know the right questions, and thanks to Dr. Sesin, he got me to where I needed to be. But finding the diagnosis is so essential, and then obviously finding a plan that's right for you.
Love it. Again, everyone, Chef Michelle Bernstein as well as Dr. Carlos Sesin talking with us about some great information to know about PSA. Again, that website, SavorLifeWithPSA.com. We will be linking that up for our podcast audience as well. Thanks to the two of you for the time. Really do appreciate you stopping by.
Pleasure, Cyrus. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. And go make today amazing. Take care.